The verdict is still out on whether or not this is really going to drive adoption in a much bigger way. But I want to get a sense from you about what this means for a business like OKCoin. How is this going to impact you and your operations?
I think, first of all, a lot of the institutions who have been sitting on the sideline and a lot of the skepticals are seeing this as a moment to really think about what their strategy should be. This Bitcoin is an asset class that you may not want to miss. There are a lot of risks of missing it. So that's number one. Number two, there are also retail customers looking at this and wondering whether there are regulatory uncertainties around this. And I think the SEC approving this ETF is a big signal to the market that at least the US regulator is not going to ban Bitcoin as an asset class. So that takes away a lot of the uncertainty from the market.
And you also, as I understand it, had to close your Beijing subsidiary during China's crypto crackdown. On the topic of regulation, do you see this being a significant issue for Bitcoin and other alternative currency investors into the future? And specifically for your business, what is the risk of regulation moving forward and the status of your China operations today?
Yeah, so our business, actually, we are based in US. Our headquarters is in San Francisco. Our team are mostly in US. We also have people in Europe, Latin America, Asia as well. So our business is very much North America centric. And most of our growth actually half of our growth actually come from North America too. And that also speaks to part of what we're seeing in the last 12 to 18 months is also a huge mainstream adoption happening with Bitcoin and with crypto space, given a lot of the macro trend happening in the background. People are seeing the legitimacy of Bitcoin as a store of value alternative, as a real store of value. And this year with El Salvador coming into the place, people are also seeing it as a money alternative in some situations. So I think the real use case for Bitcoin is definitely building. And because of that, we're seeing a lot of growth in our business as well, 20 to 30%, 20 to 30 times growth over the last 12 months. But regulatory conversation is definitely on top of everyone's mind in the industry.
Of course, of course. Before we let you go as well, I think the other thing that everyone wants to know is what's going to happen with the price. With Bitcoin now sub 64,000 USD, what do you think is going to happen next in your view? Are we going to see price outperformance from this point on, or is Bitcoin looking too hot?
Here's my personal view. I'm a long-term bullish on Bitcoin. I'm a long-term hodler. So I think long-term, there's a lot of value upside there. Bitcoin is not just an asset class. It is a network. It's a global monetary network. And there is huge network impact of this as it continues to grow. Now we have already come to a point where there's no return point for Bitcoin as a network, as a global network. And also Lightning is increasing its adoption this year with all the key metrics increasing double and more than triple since early this year. So I think that is definitely going on as we think about Bitcoin going forward, because it's a young asset class. So there's going to be a lot of volatility as the mainstream adoption can continue to come. So the volatility is expected, having ETF or not. And with more Wall Street instruments coming in, there are pros and cons. It drives adoption, it drives awareness, it drives mainstream acceptance of this asset class, but at the same time will increase volatility as well. When there is more volatility, that volatility will be amplified with different layers of financial instruments. So investors should do their own homework.